All right. Hello again, adventurers, and welcome to another exciting episode of our Fabula Ultima campaign that we don't have a name for yet, but we'll come up with one probably after everything is over.
After the campaign is done.
Which is how it works. I think we didn't
Yeah.
choose our Power Rangers name until like the last episode, so whatever. Hi everybody. I run stuff, and these are all lovely people that let me run stuff with them. And yeah, announcements. I did want to mention because I don't think I mentioned in the last session. If you are watching, you can earn these things called channel points, and channel points are free. You can't buy them, can't do anything with them. That involves money, but you can use them to do nice things for the cast. Like you can give inventory points, or you can give Fabula points to the cast to kind of help them do cool stuff. So, yes, most of my RPGs, I have like a chat interaction where you guys can use channel points to do things. Because this is such a short campaign, I don't have most of the ones that I have. Like, you can't make NPCs or create boss encounters or anything like that. But you can interact with the game, and I really, and we really do enjoy having people watch it. It's the reason that we stream. So I will reference things that people say in chat, and while I generally won't speak very often when I'm DMing, I will type in chat, just to not kind of break the... I can't remember the word now.
Immersion.
There we go. Immersion sounds good. My brain is gone, guys. It really is.
That's the best night. Come on. Now it's going to be fun.
Yeah, definitely fun. So,
And I mean, Imp is actually in this game, so he's less likely to get you to say, "Damn it, Imp." When we're talking in the comments and responding to his comment.
I won't say "damn it, Imp" to his comment. I'll say "damn it, Imp" to what he's doing in the game.
Yeah,
like it's.
True,
I mean,
but at least it'll keep us.
Oh, the immersion won't be broken when
Yeah.
I say "damn it, Imp." Yeah, you make a valid point there.
So.
Trying to think if anything else is good going on. Daily December is still a thing. I'm doing stuff on my channel. If you guys watched yesterday, I actually created an adorable monster for this game that you got. Actually, I mentioned this before when we weren't live, but due to the fact that Chax is in the party, you guys probably won't fight it. You'll turn it into a pet, because that's what Chax does.
Yeah.
Just in most of my campaigns, not
We'll
all
see.
of them, Jody.
I'm waiting for Zariah to find her pet.
Who says she doesn't have one? Have you met Motto?
Valid point.
I think Motto is everyone's pet. Don't tell Lex.
I mean, when you kind of look down on everybody, it's kind of hard to not to see everyone as a pet.
That's exactly it.
So
Zariah physically, Zariah mentally. You know?
I cannot see anything right now because I think I sweat into my eye or something,
Oh, that's
and
lovely.
it burns.
Where's my
I don't have my little aloe wipes here, so I have to use this paper and tear off half of my face. All right, that should help. So, without any further ado, I think it is time for us to return to Fabula Ultima. The party has united in a world where magic is contained within 4 elemental crystals, crystals that birthed nations. 5 unique individuals have come together as if by fate. 3 of them, or 2 of them, were tracking each other as they were trying to discover a mystery. The third came about simply by trying to end conflict. And the final one was simply in the wrong place at the wrong time. But now all of them have appeared in an area known as the Waking Lands, thus named due to the fact that there is constant ambient light everywhere, making the realm seem as it is always midday. Even closing your eyes, covering them with things, you can still see some of the light. It has been known to drive people mad. And now the party is trapped somewhere within the Waking Lands, trying to find a way out as they deal with the various denizens that seem to be becoming more aggressive. And that is where we return today. So,
I'm sorry, just having a beverage standoff with Jax right now.
I got a drink too. It's ginger beer.
Delicious.
Mine's Dr. Peppernog.
That is the most disgusting thing.
That's a mix right there.
It's nuts.
Which is why every year I blog it from my brain, so Imp will put it in chat again, and I'll be like, "That's a thing." He goes, "Yes, copy and paste our previous conversation."
God bless you, B. Dave Walters. Thank you.
I have the utmost respect for B. Dave Walters. I think he's a wonderful dungeon master. I think he's a wonderful person.
Terrible taste buds, though.
Apparently. All right. So, when we last left the party, you guys had just all appeared in the Waking Lands after having tracked the robotic life form known as a Mintus, which themselves had just kind of appeared in the wilds around the Earth Crystal Nation. Three members of the party had all kind of coalesced just south of Glimmer Village. And then as they kept talking about the Waking Lands, something happened inside Amintus, and the group was suddenly transported across the world into an unknown part of the Waking Lands. While he was exploring, Silas found a strange glowing fire, seemingly having no fuel to fire it. But as he investigated it more, there was a bright flash of light, and suddenly he was also transported to a portion of the Waking Lands that he's never been in before. While you were there, you guys had the unfortunate happenstance of meeting some dread moths and mellow slimes is what they're actually called, but they were anything but. And having dealt with them, that was where we ended it last time. So, go ahead.
I don't know. They seemed pretty chill after fighting Aikido.
Yeah, well, they were resistant to the frost, so. Booyah!
Still cooled off.
And
I quite enjoyed that interaction with the skill that I got, so can't say it was unfortunate.
I just realized that I don't have my book opened, so that when you guys do the random nonsense that I know you're going to do, I actually know where to look. All right, now I have a book open. Okay, so what do you guys want to do? You again, we've literally just finished defeating these creatures, and I believe most of you are still not feeling particularly awesome.
Censor
Hey, Silas, I think you're muted. Because you were saying things and I heard nothing.
Yeah,
saw lips moving.
Mic muted?
What about now?
Now we can
Good
hear
now.
you.
Ah, okay. No, I've switched setups so that way I could hear this wonderful music, and my microphone didn't want to cooperate. So, no, I was just Silas would be like, so sorry. I know I really hyped up the not being able to sleep being the most dangerous part about these places, and it is very dangerous. There are also monsters we need to be aware of. I should have maybe mentioned that as well. Sorry, that was my bad.
And
monsters everywhere.
Seeming on cue, as he says that and says, "My bad," you guys suddenly hear the sound of metal kind of grinding on metal. And a few 100 yards away, you see what looked like just a pile of kind of scrap and various materials start to kind of shudder and move, and suddenly you watch as parts of the scrap lift up, and you see a massive dragon-like head rise from that area, and then you watch as two dragon-like wings kind of go out, all made of various scraps and pieces of junk, and you watch it stand up on 4 legs and kind of stretch and start wandering around. Currently, it seems oblivious to your location.
Just to clarify, did we get our rest in?
No, not yet.
Okay. No. All right.
Amentus looks at Silas and Scrappy, and back at the dragon, and then at Silas again. Is that yours?
I wish, but no, that is not mine.
If anyone wants to know what it looks like.
Oh, can it be ours?
This is what you have just seen crawl out and start walking around.
Oh, Amentus can definitely find a collar.
Murata's starting to look around, seeing, I guess, the opposite direction of where this thing is, to see if there's anywhere to go, anything to hide behind. What are we looking at?
Why don't you make me an insight check?
Insight check.
I meant to tell you guys, if you need to roll a specific check, if you go to the stats page on your character sheet and go all the way to the bottom, there's a little thing that says rolls, and you can just pick which combination you want to roll, and that way it'll add them together for you and do all that stuff without you having to worry about it. So, that being said, what do you got for me?
Doubles 6.
Excellent. So that actually creates an opportunity for you as well.
I think it's a 6, but he rolled 2 3s.
Oh, 2 3s. Never mind.
Yeah. It's a 6 total.
6 total. Okay. In that case, something that we haven't really talked about too much thus far is the idea of how you can use Fabula points in Fabula Ultima. And one of the ways you can do that is by invoking either your identity, your theme, or your origin as it relates to a particular role. So just because we can right now, because 100% that's going to fail. You know that. I know that. My dog that doesn't exist knows that. But if we wanted to make an argument with your theme being vengeance, you particularly were looking for a place to hide. So you might be able to justify that by going, well, right now I know that if I try and take this thing on, I'm not going to be able to take out the subject of my vengeance. And therefore that's going to give me a little bit more of a push. And if you were to do that, you could burn a Fabula point and re-roll one or both of those dice.
Nope.
Awesome. So as you're looking around, you are still a little bit frustrated and flustered from the idea that, you know, you had come to find this robot to serve a very specific purpose, and as of right now, you don't see how that purpose is going to be served. And so you're still kind of trying to figure out exactly what's going on. You're still kind of bewildered from the transportation across the world. So yeah, you're not really able to find much of anything as far as cover. You guys are kind of in an open field. But it is, again, it's a few hundred yards away, so it's not quite on top of you guys, and it doesn't seem to have noticed you as of yet. What do the rest of you guys want to do?
Simon, do you know what it is?
Have I ever seen anything like this before?
Thus far, you have seen the remains of a few kind of robotic life forms. It's one of the things that inspired you to build Scrappy, but all of them have been defunct. Like you've never seen any of these robotic creations moving around. Most of them were not in a condition where you think they could move around.
Does that
answer your question? Okay.
I've never seen one moving. I've seen remains, bits and pieces, scraps, but never one functioning and moving around. It's amazing. I didn't know if they were still working. You could try to get a closer look, but I also
I mean, if it's hard, so I feel like that would be a bad idea.
I mean, we don't know that it's hostile, but I see your point.
Almost as if to almost as if to spite Silas, you watch as the giant kind of mechanical dragon kind of leans back, and there are some kind of creatures kind of wandering around. You watch it kind of lean back and open its mouth, and this huge ball of fire comes out and just scorches the land as it continues walking through.
I mean, that's not completely conclusive, but yeah, no, let's we should maybe not be here when it comes this way.
Yeah.
Was that a spell?
It was not. It was just an attack.
Dang.
And you do need to be in combat with them to learn the spells.
I am in combat with my mind.
Also, I have to remember, I don't think constructs count. Do constructs count as one of the creatures you can learn spells from?
It says monsters, beasts, and plants, so no.
Yeah, so no, constructs don't count. So even if it was a spell, you couldn't learn it.
I am also...
I do not need to give you a giant fireball.
Why not? It's not like I set things on fire.
No, that's Dan's job.
Yeah.
That's Bala. You burned down one forest.
You can see Murata kind of talking to himself, kind of thinking, and also almost getting a little, like, I don't know, impatient. Looking at this beast and kind of talking to himself, but they don't seem connected. So.
Well, if we don't want to be here when they get here, we have to move now.
Yes, I agree. I agree.
All right. Well, now we need to figure out which way we need to go. I think Silas would try to find some kind of a landmark.
Okay.
And try to navigate in roughly an opposite direction of the dragon.
Okay. So looking around, what you guys can see, the dragon is to the north of where you are, and surrounding the dragon is relatively kind of lush forest land that keeps going until you can see a pair of mountains that are very, very close, but you can see kind of like a small, almost like ravine that goes between the two towards the north. To the west, you guys can see some kind of smaller hills, still a few hundred feet, or at least 100 feet high, but not like mountain-sized. They kind of block all view of the direction west, but they would be easy enough to go over, requiring no climbing or anything. To the east, you can see kind of more barren, rocky ground. There's a few caves in the various kind of mountains in that general direction. And Silas, you would also recognize a few of the rocks around there are not natural formations. You've seen other rocks like this, and they tend to indicate some sort of ruins nearby because they've fallen from them. And then to the south is a relatively large river that is flowing fast enough that swimming through it would probably be extremely difficult if your goal was to get to the other side. So knowing that information, where would you guys like to go?
You have any ideas of what that time is? I mean, you seem to be the most familiar with it, you know?
I mean, I am very familiar with the Waking Lands, just not this particular part of it.
If you're trying to find a landmark, it seems more reasonable to go up.
You're not wrong. If we can get some altitude, I may be able to. Sure, I have a pair of like a telescope or binoculars on me.
Yeah.
In one of these pockets. So yeah, if we got some altitude, we could do that. If we searched, and I'd feel better knowing where we are. Those ruins are awfully tempting. Is anybody here a good climber? Oh wait, the dragon robot is heading north, correct?
Yeah, dragon robot is heading north, and it's kind of just wandering around in the north. It's not going due north, but it's kind of wandering around in that area.
So maybe if we head west towards those hills, we might be able to get some elevation.
After you.
Okay. Come on, Scrappy, let's find out where we are. So Silas will start heading in that direction.
Amantis will follow.
Following?
Yeah.
All right. Sorry, I'm just making some changes so I can actually do things the way I want to. So, we're going to use another aspect of I'm going to do this. Is this how I do it? Stop it. I swear I did this before and it worked perfectly.
So,
there it is.
Marauder still mumbling to himself the entire time, or was it just in that moment?
A little bit. He's definitely talking to himself, like more thinking to himself, but he's something's on his mind. You can tell.
Not
definitely
like only
thinking.
being able to hear one-sided conversation.
Pretty
Or
much.
Like thinking aloud. Okay.
Yeah.
So
thinking.
we're going to start using another aspect of Fabula Ultima that I really enjoy, the clock system. So in order for you guys to kind of find a decent spot to be able to look around and get your bearings without this massive dragon finding you, you guys are going to need to complete a 4-section clock. So you're going to need to get 4 successes in order to be able to do this. The easiest, or the, I guess, most obvious way to get the successes is to use an insight wisdom roll to basically kind of scout and track your way through the hills and that to find your way to a good spot. However, if any of you guys come up with other ways that you think would be helpful to the party to help you guys get that goal, just explain how your character would like to help, and I'll tell you what you need to roll.
You said insight wisdom. Do you mean insight willpower?
Willpower. Thank you.
Okay.
I run like 7 different systems now. Like, they all just blend together in there. So insight willpower. Sorry. It started with a W.
It did. That's why I guessed that was the cue.
So, anyone that wants to can contribute to this clock, and depending on who contributes what, I will kind of narrate how things go. So starting off, I think we're going to start off with Silas, because you seem to be the one guiding everyone right now. Why don't you start by giving me an insight willpower check?
Okay, I think that's a... All right, let me... So I got a 9.
Okay, so starting off, the difficulty level for filling a section of this is going to be 10. Is going to be our check. So, as a reminder, if you ever have a roll that just doesn't seem to work the way that you want it, if you can come up with a reason why either your identity theme or origin would give you kind of an extra leg in this, you can re-roll 1 or both dice by spending a Fabula point. Go ahead.
I would say, having spent so much time in the Waking Lands, that clearly I'd be able to draw on my experience as part of my origin.
That makes sense to me. Go ahead and re-roll whichever dice you want.
I'm going to re-roll the D8 that came up a 1.
Probably not a bad idea.
And
Sorry.
Fate said no.
You guys can't see that, but I did. Silas, what did you get?
I got a 1.
So as you start kind of trying to find a good path up, despite the fact that there's not a ton of cover on the mountains, there are various rocks and boulders that you're kind of going around, and you guys are just kind of following. And after going for about 10 or 15 minutes, you start noticing things that seem more familiar than they should. And you realize, again, after about 15 or 20 minutes, you guys have kind of gone a relatively large circle.
So I was like looking down his book, like, wait a minute. Oh. Sorry, I'm it's very distracting. I think no, that's a different rock. One of the things about the Waking Lands, all the rocks to the untrained eye look very, very familiar.
Aren't you the most trained?
Yes, yeah, that's why I know that that's a different rock than the one we went past 10 minutes ago. But let's go this way.
All right. Would anyone else like to try and come up with a way to help get to the location that you would like? Could be, to give you some examples of things that might help, it could be that you decide to mark trees by, swinging your weapon at them. It could be that you find a squirrel and decide to talk to it to get directions. It could be anything that you guys can think of that might make it easier to get to where you're going.
They can't, like, just thinking, like, since Furbal's used to like being in the forest, and this is obviously a very different setting here, but I think he's definitely used to inspecting his area and his surroundings, possibly scrutinizing and seeing if anything pops out to him.
Mm-hmm.
If that's it, anyway, might be able to assist.
Sure, definitely. Go ahead and roll me insight.
Insight.
Sure, yeah, insight.
I'm going by what the button says.
Well, and this is something that I discovered. Those buttons are not there are no skills or specific checks in Fabula Ultima. So those are just made effectively from the suggestion page. So I'm going to be avoiding using any of them just because it makes it a little bit more difficult for us to kind of get used to the idea that the stats themselves are what we are using. So in this case, it does seem like a mostly intellectual thing. Okay. So it'd be insight.
And somehow we have the same thing. Let me take a look here.
Well, first of all, what did you roll?
I rolled a 10. I got a 10 and a 1.
So that would be 11.
Yeah.
And what you're aiming for is a 10, so you succeed.
Yeah. I was just wondering, like, if I should risk it for extra credit or not. But yeah.
So now I get to do this cool thing. There we go. So as Silas is sitting there, kind of looking over his notes, and you see him kind of take out a compass. You can see he's trying to kind of draw a map. You're really relatively familiar, not only with maps, but with how close you live to the Earth Crystal Wilds. Every so often, trees will move. Or paths that used to be very clearly defined suddenly make turns that they're not supposed to. So you're kind of used to maps not being 100% accurate. And so as he's sitting there going, well, maybe I'll do this, you kind of go, oh, well, what if you do? And you guys kind of work together. And you're slowly making your way into the foothills of the bigger hills. The foothills of the hills.
I envision Silas as like using his like binoculars or telescope, and you just see Furball just doing this.
Yeah.
Over there.
And then eventually Furball's just reaches up and turns them around the correct way.
Sorry, that dragon is very cool. But yes.
So now you guys are into an area that has significantly less rocks and other things like that. There's a lot of gravel here, but nothing very, very large. You can see these two kind of massive hills are next to you, and you can see the paths up them. There are some kind of more well-defined, like goat trails going up, and then there are other areas that are much more kind of rocky and craggy. But the goat trails themselves wind in very kind of wide patterns. So, what would you all like to do?
Up we go.
All right.
Keep an eye out for some goats.
Go.
Goat trail.
That's something to worry about here.
Or they can help us.
No, the goats are fine. It's the dread goats, slime goats. Yeah, slime goats. That's it.
Just a goat, not like a platypus goat, or
gelatinous goat.
So do you guys want to take the goat paths, or do you guys want to try climbing?
I'm down to climb.
Okay.
Yeah, we could try that.
So what I'm going to have you guys do is actually make me a group check. As we explained last time, basically the group check, you guys are going to choose a leader who's going to make the actual check. And then the rest of you are going to make assist checks to help them. So who do you guys want to be the leader of this crime?
Depends what skill are we using.
This is going to be, climbing up is going to be, I'll say Might Insight, seen as it's not purely going to be strength. You need to know where your hands hold goes and stuff like that. So,
Can it be Dex Insight? So I'm going to scurry.
Yeah, I could see that.
There ain't nothing mighty about Furble.
I could see if you want to kind of parkour yourself up there. So, again, first of all, who do you guys want to be the leader of the group check?
I mean, doesn't matter.
I will give you all a hint. Being very differential to everyone else is a wonderful, fantastic thing in real life. In the board game, I need somebody to kind of step forward and go, I will do this. So if you have either a high might score or a high insight score, go ahead and say, I'll do it.
I'll do it.
Okay, Chax is first.
No, go for it. No, Akito.
Okay, Akito. So with Akito going to be doing it, the rest of you, I need either might insight or dexterity insight checks. And then depending on how many of you succeed, you're aiming just for a 10. Depending on how many you succeed, we will add those numbers to Akito's final roll. So let's start with Furble. What you got for me?
9.
9, cool. Silas?
4.
4, cool. Murado?
12.
12, cool. 1 success. And Amintus?
14.
14, cool. So you are going to roll a what?
It doesn't matter at all. Spike, in that case, did get doubles. I don't know if it matters.
Are they doubles higher than 6?
Double 6.
Okay.
Double 6s.
So that does give you... so again, anytime you roll double 6s or higher and you succeed, that counts as a critical success and you get an opportunity. I did put in the journal section, there's a thing that actually lists all the different opportunities, or the opportunity suggestions. There's more, but we're just going to go off of this. So, Spike, if you want to kind of look, one of the suggestions is progress. You may fill or erase up to 2 sections of a clock.
Ooh.
That might be something that you would want to do, or we can do anything else. So while you're deciding on that, we still have to do the roll. So I'm going to have Akito go ahead and do the roll. It's going to be, are you going to use might insight, or are you going to use dexterity insight? Akito.
Might.
Okay. So go ahead and make the roll. You're going to have a +2 to the roll. So whatever you get, add 2 to it. And again, you're aiming for above a 10.
Well, I got exactly 10.
All right. So that's what you wanted. So, Murata, have you decided what you want to use for your opportunity?
Yeah, I'll fill 2 slots of that clock.
So you're going to get 1 from the success and 2 from the opportunity. So that means we're going to go up to a full clock. So as you guys go, you see Akito kind of come over, and you guys are trying to figure out what to do. And Akito just kind of, all right. It's his gloves kind of tightened. You see him just start climbing up one of the steeper cliff faces, and as he kind of goes up, you see he gets into a pretty decent rhythm of he'll stop, look for handhold, move, and you guys can almost kind of see a metronome kind of style as he's going up and up and up. And as he goes up, he kind of yells down kind of directions of these are where the handholds are, and you all start going pretty well. As you're climbing up, though, I need a die.
Please don't.
1, 2. Yeah, we'll do it that way. So as you're going up, Amintus, you grab at one of the handholds, and you squeeze a little bit harder than you were expecting, and you feel it just kind of crumble underneath you. And as you start to fall, you suddenly feel a grip on one of your pauldrons as Murata just kind of reaches down and kind of grabs behind you and kind of shoves you into the wall to get you to a better place to get a handhold. And as that happens, like everything kind of stops for a moment, and Murata, you just kind of look around, kind of brush it off, and just continue climbing after you're sure that Amintes is safe. And you guys notice you go pretty fast, much faster than you were expecting, and it takes you less than about 40 minutes to get all the way up, even taking regular kind of rests for a few minutes to catch breath for people that aren't quite as athletically gifted. And as you get to the top, Silas, you look around and you're trying to find some sort of indication of where you are. Now that you're significantly higher, it's not quite as difficult as it was before. And so looking around with your binoculars, you do see some landmarks miles and miles away, probably 6 or 7 days journey easily, that you recognize. And as you kind of place yourself, you guys realize that you are in the northern part of the Waking Lands, right around there. Let's go back to that. So right around there. And while you most definitely can try to traverse your way back to the kind of southwest where your house is, that would require spending over a week in here, whereas you could probably be through the north and go to kind of the northern parts of the Wind Crystal Nation within a day and a half, maybe to 2 days. So
I will. Okay. So I know where we are. We're on the northern side of the Waking Lands.
Really?
So, yes, really. Like pull out my map.
Verbalist for the rock.
Oh, no, I'm for real. So I mean, if we travel that way for about a day, maybe a day and a half, we can get out of the Waking Lands. So that makes me feel much more comfortable. With that said, I feel like we need to check out those ruins. We still don't know why we all got brought here specifically. I know I was in some other ruins, and there was like a circular thing on the ground, and then there was a flame, and then it started glowing brighter, and I was here. How did you guys get here?
Mentis is going to do that thing where they're just going to shift their torso back just a little bit because, that's where it was burning.
Mm-hmm.
We actually got here because of this one, and I'll point over to Amintis. I think, and I'll look over and ask, did you do this? Did you bring us here? On your own accord?
No. I don't know what happened.
But you seem to
take their hand and put it on their chest.
You got it really bright, and then we ended up, and then we ended up here.
Right, and it still is very bright, as you can tell.
Amintis looks at themselves. They are not glowing anymore.
Yeah, what?
Sorry, that cut out. Could you say that one more time?
Yeah, what? I know you said you don't know what happened, but what do you know, I guess?
It was just a hot sensation. Almost painful. And as you kept mentioning the waking lands, it got hotter.
Is this
So
a new thing? Is this a new thing for you, or is this?
It's happened once before.
How long ago?
What's the name of the fields again? Hold on, I can't read. Verdant. It's how I got to the nation of Verdant. Sorry. Zoom. I'm blind.
Okay. Do you know where you were before then?
I was in the nation of Imperius. That's where I'm from.
So you must be connected with the Waking Lands, or whatever's causing the Waking Lands, I suppose.
But I've never been here.
It brought you here. It brought all of us here. Actually.
Have you noticed anything that we arrived?
No.
Murata backs up, or like he steps back and is talking, like thinking to himself again, like thinking through something.
Mm-hmm. When you went to the nation of Verdawan, was somebody talking about Verdawan near you, and that triggered it?
No.
How about the Waking?
The only connection is they kept talking about the Waking Lands.
In both instances?
Yes. And they were very adamant about information regarding the Waking Lands.
And you don't know anything about the Waking Lands?
No. And I'm not certain my creator would have either.
Your creator, I'm assuming you've met them.
Yes.
Okay.
What's their name?
Yeah,
who are they?
What's their name? What your
name?
Address,
license
ASL.
Mother's maiden name, first name, name of the first street that they grew up on, and name of their
favorite
first
teacher.
3 pets.
Favorite teacher.
Who's your creator and what does he do?
Now we're going to play the fun game of who's your creator and what does it do. It's not a tumor.
Just
really bad with character names. It takes me a very long time.
Sure. You can, to simplify this, because you had a relatively limited time with your creator, we could even just say that he never really gave you a name other than maybe a title. Like maybe you seem to call him creator. Okay. So it could be that you've just always referred to him that way.
Okay. Perfect.
I'm just wondering if maybe. So here and I'm not going to use the name of the place just in case, but
you've said Waking Lands like several times.
Yeah.
Fine. In the
Waking Lands.
Shh. Leave it to Imp to be the Chaos Goblin. And you, Amintus, you would have noticed that it doesn't seem to have any reaction to you anymore.
This place, there's a lot of ruins here. There's a lot of technology that's been lost, i.e., awesome robot dragon. I don't know. Well, just I've seen things here that I haven't seen in other places.
Do I recognize that dragon?
Make me let's call this insight willpower, because you're going to kind of delve into your memories.
Okay. Eleven.
So thinking back, there was nothing like this, especially since when you were born. Imperius was still extremely reliant on magic and hadn't really gone down the technology path that very far. And so...
But even with my creator's job, there wasn't blueprints of similar technology?
So your first thought when asked this is just your brain instantly goes, no, of course not. Most of the technology that he was building was not really meant to be more animal shaped. It was much more kind of function focused. So guns, turrets, things like that. It was very function focused, but very magical. You were effectively the first creation that had a form that was meant to do something beyond just be a tool. So that's what instantly comes, and you start saying that almost instinctively, and then suddenly, as you think more, you have this image of the dragon, but it looks significantly more complete. There's no rust on it whatsoever. It almost looks like an actual dragon with kind of metallic armor on it, as opposed to the kind of collection of scrap and junk that you see before you. And in addition to the dragon, you can see the dragon kind of standing there with the wings that are now basically just smokestacks. But previously there were these huge kind of powerful wings kind of spread, and you can see these 8 massive figures that you can't quite make out in the memory. But they're definitely not robotic or constructs in any form. They look vaguely humanoid in shape, 2 legs, two arms, and a head. But they're, and you really only see them in silhouette. But they definitely, something is not quite human about them. And they dwarf the size of this dragon as well. And you just get this brief flash of this image, and then you're back.
How long ago was this lost?
It's been centuries.
Centuries.
Yeah, the
millennia.
Millennia.
Sorry.
Millennia.
It's. I mean, it's really, really, really long time ago.
Multiple centuries create a millennium. So, I mean, both are true statements.
True, but the impact of those 2 words, slightly different magnitudes.
Right.
You all will be aware the waking lands were formed probably about somewhere between 3,000 to 6,000 years ago. They predate all of the societies currently by a decent amount.
So this image that flashed, was it akin to like a drawing or more of a memory?
Definitely memory.
Okay.
Like there was movement. It was a very brief flash, but
yeah,
it was like you were looking at it.
So I'm wondering if something your creator used may have been something from here? maybe they incorporated something they bought off of someone. I mean, there are people that come in here and gather things and then go and sell them.
Wonder
Oh,
who that could be.
hodgepodge. Hodgepodge. Good.
Yes.
Piece it together.
So I'm wondering if maybe were you feeling threatened when these happened? I'm wondering if it's like a defense mechanism.
The first time, but not the second.
I mean, to be fair, you will be a follower and hunter.
I wasn't following. Like I was following you two, although I was trying to find this one too, because y'all tromping around the forest.
None of you seemed rather threatening.
Was not trying to
Wow.
be threatening. Now, listen.
Dude with a massive sword and shields, like,
I know. No.
Am I a joke to you? Sorry.
It's not. So Murata steps back.
You don't know me.
His sword is sheathed. He steps back, arms up. You can see he's kind of. There's places in his armor he's dripping with blood. It didn't seem like these slime things could necessarily cause a lot of blood, but there's blood under his armor. You can see it. And he is fairly covered in that goo from that fight too. I don't know if I'm still slowed or not, but I'm technically slowed after the fight. I don't know if that carried over.
At this point, the slow would have worn off.
That's what I kind of was
Generally,
thinking.
the stuff will last until the end of the scene, and we are in a new scene. So,
but he's stepping back, trying to not, he's not trying to be offensive at all. And he kind of starts chuckling to himself, recalling like what he's been thinking about this whole time while traveling up this. And
Amentis slowly leans towards Silas. Is that the madness?
Not, I don't think so. It's been too short of a time.
Since I don't know any of you, I am Murata Makuni. as never, the official introduction has never happened yet.
You're right, it hasn't.
We know
Farble's name.
I'm bringing it in. So, I have been following this one because, and I'm not too scared of most of you as I look down at Furble. I think that this one has a much deeper connection with the Waking Lands. And the fact that we're here now, after finally catching up to this one, I think there's going to be some really big changes coming in Verdawant very soon. So long as I would like to say we can work together to figure this out. And mainly because of the Waking Lands itself. Granted, we're here, but also all of this light, I think it really does have a deeper connection with you, looking at Amentis. Are you... Have you done outside of disappearing, bringing us, teleporting around? Have you been able to do what else? Can you do anything else with that? Kind of pointing to like the core, according to what we saw glowing before we flashed over here. Is there anything else that you can do with that tool?
Amentis pulls out their shields.
That is not what I meant. But
Push them away.
Have you ever used the thing for like other things?
No. But I do think you're right. There is a connection. That dragon that we saw before. That's not what it used to look like.
Used
I
to?
remember it.
You remember?
Go to college together?
Old roommate.
I'm sorry, is it uni?
We
Is
had
it-
poli
oh, the university
sci
here?
together. The teacher was
We
a
did.
nightmare.
Shared
We
notebooks,
were-
though,
we-
you know.
We want the woman.
If you're mechanical, it'd be Votech, wouldn't it?
Perhaps
Yeah,
we
we
should
went
check
to-
out the runes.
We went to MIT, the Magitech Institute of Technology. Sorry.
You said, looking over at Silas, you don't know what those stones were back there, that area.
No, not specifically. As I said, I've not explored this section. I'm Silas, by the way, Silas Windbrand. I come from Janolan, a small, used to be airship, kind of crashed. Grandfather, it's not important. But no, I've not been to this side of the Waking Lands before. My mother actually used to explore around up here.
And you learned this. You learned everything, or you picked up from where she left off in exploring.
You could say that. Part of the reason why I'm so careful and get worried about not knowing where we are. I don't want anybody else to get lost.
Anybody else to get lost?
My mother got lost. I haven't seen her in a few years.
The way
Yeah, she used to explore deeper and deeper. She said she was onto something big.
he
she's- She
what that may be.
she said she was going to fill me in when she got back.
Any idea of where she was going? Any region?
I know it wasn't any of the regions I've been to before. She said it was kind of. I knew she'd been exploring deeper and deeper. And I know she had, from some of the notes that I'd seen, I think it might have been in the northern areas. But
Do you think at this point, I mean, she was looking for something big, not physically big. Big as in, maybe. But it could very well have been connected.
I mean, it's possible, but I don't know for sure. I didn't know if she'd found a big technology score. Maybe she had partnered with somebody in another far off land and was building things. Anyways,
A millennia ago.
I mean, I know I look young, but really, no. No, I say we go check out those ruins.
Okay, well, if we're gonna big introduction. Okay, so Silas, Murata, Mentas.
I haven't given you my name, but sure.
I thought someone said your name.
Well, I don't think I've given
No.
it.
I've referred to, but I've never said it. I don't
Okay.
think I've said it.
Yeah.
Well, then he would redact. Well, then he would.
Like,
he would redact. He'd go like,
wow, great.
well, then he would redact that. He would say, okay, so Silas, Murata, and then he point to two remaining friends.
Amentus.
Mantis.
and Kilo Basuno.
You know.
And like he goes to each of you. He goes into his little bag, a little pouch, and he gives each of you a berry.
Thank you.
I'm Verbal Lumley.
I'll eat it.
Amentus is just holding it.
Yeah.
I'll eat it
Gives it back.
after Furball eats it. So
A creature without a
Yeah.
mouth. Just kind of. It's nice. You guys all trip balls? No. I'm assuming this is one of the delicacy
that?
berries, right?
Starlight berry.
Yeah. So
You notice
anyone,
you notice they're slightly iridescent, little luminescent. They're perfectly plump, perfect little berries.
so anyone that actually does ingest it, they have a very strong sweet flavor, not sickly sweet like sugar, but very much if you've ever had like really kind of perfectly ripe strawberries, just that very kind of strong strawberry flavor, kind of similar to that. Very pleasant to eat.
They're like the gold. They're like the gold standard of a berry.
Yeah. Some of you that live closer to, I would say probably Aikido, you're probably familiar with the fact that Murata, the aristocracy in Verdawant consider this particular berry a delicacy because it only grows in one place and requires a pretty decent amount of trade to get it outside and all the way to places like Twilight. So.
Thank you.
Welcome. We're friends now.
We'll have soft tacos. Sorry.
Well, I guess do we want to go and explore the village now, or you are awfully bloody? Maybe we should rest a bit before going.
I mean, can we? You know,
I have a number of tents with me.
200?
That would be ridiculous. Why would anybody have 200 tents?
I don't know. You tell us why you would have 200 tents.
For those of you just tuning in and not familiar with my other campaigns, due to, we're assuming fat fingers, on Daniel's other character sheet, he literally had 200 tents and couldn't figure out why his character was encumbered. And we don't even use encumbrance rules. He had so many tates.
Oh,
Guys,
look, the rails.
No, you're good. You warned us at the beginning.
so yeah, you guys are at the top of the hill. You can see the ruins are. You have to go back down the hill to get to the ruins. We're just pretend that whole thing didn't happen.
Yep.
Jody, I think all of my characters, besides this one, are rubbing off one.
But yeah, so if you guys
Anyway, these berries sure are great.
I would say if you guys do want to rest, because again, there isn't really a clock. You guys, and especially since you were just teleported here, it was mid to late morning, kind of early afternoon when you found the flame, but you have no idea how long you guys were unconscious or anything. So it could be the middle of the night for all you guys know. I will say the hill that you're on, because you are up very high and there's very little cover or anything here, is very exposed.
So, I mean, I'm fine. But I know some others took quite a beating
Yeah.
from those slimes. Um, we could try to find a campsite. We could go to the ruins and camp there.
Would we I guess a question to Silas then. Um are we able to, I guess, inside of a building inside this in the waking lands, relax?
You can kind of relax. Sleep is a little bit more difficult. I've spent a couple of days inside the waking lands before and been okay. It's when you start to spend a week in here or longer and you start losing your sense of direction.
Basically, everything after, like, one day you're generally fine. 2 days things start to not be fun, and anything from 3 days or longer, and you start losing touch of reality.
So if we go to the ruins, check those out for a day at most, and then head north as fast as we can. We should be okay. Probably.
All right.
Alright.
Amentis goes over and puts a hand on Marauder's shoulder and uses Mellow Dance.
So
You
as you're kind of standing there, you watch as Amintus kind of comes over, and as she places her hand on your shoulder, you suddenly feel it kind of getting a little bit slick, and you watch as little bits of slime start just kind of leaking out of her hands, and they start kind of searching out where your wounds are. And at first it just feels gross, because you have this little slime thing just crawling all over you. But as every time it touches a spot where you have a wound that's currently kind of festering because of just how your character works, you feel this kind of soothing sensation. And now, Jax, go ahead and describe the mechanical aspects of it.
Sure. So you recover 30 hit points, and if you had any kind of status ailment, you would be relieved of it.
Ew, so you can't eat, but you can cast magic, Loogie?
Mentis is gonna hold out her hand, or its hand to Furble, just to like look, not to cast it.
Thank you.
Furble, you would notice if you inspect it, after the spell is cast, it's actually quite impressive how quickly, like, there isn't like slime left on their hand or anything like that. It goes back to normal really, really fast.
Verbal for a split second thinks about going, but he's like, no, I'm not gonna do that.
So, what do you guys want to do? You want to stay here? You want to go back down the mountain? You think going down is easier than going up? So it'll probably only take you about 20, 30 minutes to get back to where you were.
I think we should, at the very least, head back down.
Okay. So as you guys are kind of discussing this, you suddenly hear this kind of ear-shattering roar. And you look over and you can see the dragon itself seems to have found something as it was wandering, and has raised its head to the sky and let out this huge bellowing roar, that as the sound actually gets to you, you guys are actually knocked down a little bit just because of the impact of the sound waves. And you watch as it goes down, you can see it kind of, it seems like it's digging or attacking something near its feet, though it's so far away you can't really tell what it's reacting to.
That doesn't seem good.
To the ruins?
Mentis is just going to stare at Silas and wait for them to take out their binoculars, but not say anything, just awkwardly stare.
Okay.
Silas takes out the binoculars.
Burbles just
And I will make sure I'm using them
That's
the
what
way.
I meant. This flips automatically just flips him.
Do I see what
What
it's
do you
attacking,
see?
or? Um,
Is this back still down where the dragon was, or did it fly up?
I think he said it moved away and then it
moved.
started to dig into the ground.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
moved a little bit further north. It's getting closer and closer to that kind of ravine that is basically the way out of the Waking Lands, and that area is that ravine.
wow.
I would say while it's busy, we hightail it down there
Yeah.
and go in.
That's probably a good idea.
I think we'll have at least a little bit of cover if we're inside.
I meant to start
What
walking
say you?
down.
All right.
I agree. Let's go.
So,
Yeah.
you guys head down the mountain again. Significantly easier to get down. You get back to where you were, and I'm assuming you're going to continue towards the indication of ruins.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
So, as you guys are going, Amintus, you start getting that feeling like you're being followed again, but it doesn't seem quite as ominous as when you were in the forest. And as you guys are kind of going through this very kind of rocky terrain, you start seeing rocks, like little pebbles and that, start kind of being knocked down from the side, and you just get this feeling like something is there and is following you. The rest of you seem relatively oblivious to it.
How far away are the rocks that the pebbles are dropping from?
Relatively close to you. Like the kind of paths that you guys are going through are anywhere between about 10 to 15 feet wide. So
And high?
about 25, 30 feet.
Amentus is going to stop and in front of one of the walls and then just try and scale it.
Sure. Give me a might insight check.
Those two. Oh,
Sorry, what was it?
well,
12. Cool. So yeah, you guys watch as Amintus just kind of stops and like makes a 90-degree turn and just walks into a wall. And like stops right before it, looks up and down, and just straight up. Seemingly without effort. Like they just walk up and then immediately just start very mechanically, and the momentum literally just goes like that. And it takes you a minute or two to get to the top. And when you get there, you see... Where are you? There we go. You see a creature that looks like this. So you see this kind of small, very much rodent-looking creature where the tail itself has bits of flames kind of licking out from it, but the front paws and face are have little bits of ice kind of growing directly out of its fur. And you can see about two or three of them just kind of wandering around, and now that you're up here, they're all just kind of looking at you.
Amentus is going to crouch down and say hello.
Hello.
You were following us. Why?
Because you're new.
Yes.
You're different. You're new and
Yes.
different, like us. We're different, and the difference is new.
You're new and different. How long have you been here?
Since the beginning.
When is the beginning?
Before now.
Good answer. Do you know those ruins?
Yes.
Have you been there?
Yes.
What can you tell me about them?
They're uncomfortable.
Why?
There's nothing soft. You can't sleep.
Can you sleep?
Yes. Very good.
In the waking lands?
Yes.
You can sleep.
Yes.
Are you mad?
You see it kind of go back. Not yet. Should I be? Are you going to make me mad? You watch its
No.
eyes kind of narrow.
No.
Oh, good.
Coward.
You're not supposed to be here.
Where am I supposed to be?
I don't know.
But not here.
Yes.
Why?
You'll get sick.
What kind of sick?
Sick.
What kind of sick?
Sick.
They're stuck.
What kind of sick?
Over the next
That's
4
it.
hours. They just keep repeating this. And if anyone kind of, because you didn't have to go very far from the edge of the cliff. So if anyone's kind of watching from the ground, you can see Amintus up there going, and then you can't see what they're talking to, but they are speaking kind of clicks and growls and the things like that. They kind of sound almost kind of feral. And every so often there'll be a squeak in there. And after a little while, you start noticing the exact same sounds on repeat. Sick.
What kind of sick?
And the animal, you can see the animal is getting frustrated now. Sick.
All right.
I think Fermal's gonna wander over because it's starting to sound antagonistic now. He's like,
Yeah.
If anyone wants to join her up there, I just need a might insight check or dexterity insight check to get up there.
gonna scurry up there again. Okay. Oh.
What are you?
Spicy chili.
Delicious. Is that your name or what you are?
Yes,
Interesting.
I'm new,
I'm new.
but not all of me is new.
What do you mean?
I'm old, but I'm new.
I am old, so old, apparently, and new. Why is that not all of you?
You watch as the creature just kind of spins around, and you can see the fire on its tail kind of flares out. That's new. And this, and it comes over, and it kind of just barely kind of gnaws on your leg plates. You can feel this kind of bitter cold as it kind of rubs some of the frozen bits. You can see it's the mouth itself is actually exuding kind of frost from it. That's new.
Oh.
Hmm.
How new?
Very.
Interesting.
What did you guys get for your checks?
I got an 11.
11K.
I got a 5.
So Akito, you are kind of judging, and Furball just kind of scurries up without too much difficulty. But as you try to take the same handholds, you realize that Furball has much smaller hands than you, and things that work very well for Furball are not working for you.
Yeah, and I bought is this
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Use your tail for balance.
So as you come up, you watch as both of the creatures just see Furball kind of show up, and they both kind of get back and just start hissing.
They're all right. They're with me.
And they kind of look at you with this kind of accusatory. He'll eat us.
Do I hear that?
Since you don't have the same ability to speak with animals that she does,
Okay.
no. I mean, you hear them kind of, chitter and growl.
Okay.
But it doesn't mean anything to you.
Mentis is going to turn to Furball. Will you eat them?
No? I eat
No.
bugs. I've eaten bugs. I eat fruits and berries. And I'll get berries. And then he goes to this bag. He goes he takes out 2 berries. He tosses.
They are no longer interested in you, Amentis. They both kind of rush forward and they eat the berries. And you watch them kind of look at each other. They get this kind of look of disgust with it, and they spit it out. And they look at you, and their mouths are now stained with whatever color the berry is. They just have kind of these crystals. They have these crystals all over their mouth and lips right now because they're biting it has literally frozen the berry as they were trying to eat it. And now they both have basically kind of come up to you, and they're kind of scrutinizing you, and they're kind of looking to see like where you got those from. And one of them's even trying to see if they can't get into a pocket or something.
You didn't like them. You didn't like them. You spit them out.
Curious. Can you not understand him?
No? You can?
It wants to know where it came from.
He wants to know where it came from?
The berries.
Oh. I mean, you can tell it Starlight Village. Or Starlight Valley would be more accurate. Have they ever heard of Starlight Valley?
They
Mentis is going to translate.
Yeah, they seem to not really care about the name of it. You get from what they're telling you, they want to know where on his body it came from, and that's all they care about.
Yep.
Why do they want? Why do they want it? But they didn't. Why do they want it? But they didn't. They didn't want it, the berries.
Gonna just tell the spicy chilies. I believe they are called pockets. There is a man down there who's made of pockets.
They immediately run down the side of the ravine, and Silas, as you're kind of watching all this stuff unfold, because you guys still can't really see what they're talking to, but you can see something's going on in there. Suddenly, these two creatures just rush you.
Mentis is gonna lean over. Don't eat them.
Scrappy.
So Scrappy's gotten down to like, argh. And they see that, and they immediately kind of stop. And one of them, you can watch their tails get very bright and kind of alight, even more so than they were before. And they
Do I hear them say anything?
No, they look like they're about ready to attack.
Verbal's just like he's like a stab, like no.
No.
Who are you talking to?
2 things. Stop
Okay,
it.
Good. Silas just casually, non-threateningly pulls out his magic cannon.
Okay.
Silas. Put that away. They just want your pockets.
They can't have my pockets.
They're curious about pockets. Amentis is going to go down.
Okay.
Silas just like pulls open a pocket. See? It's
They
got all
kinda-
sorts of things in here.
They kind of go down a little bit, but they still seem like right on the cusp of attacking. And they seem kind of hyper focused on Scrappy more so than Silas. One of them goes, "See? We told you! They'll eat us!
Who will eat you?
That one! And that one!" And they seem to be kind of lumping Furball and
Scrappy
Scrappy into the same kind of group.
What are you playing me for?
Oh. He won't eat you.
And one of them just kind of gives you a look that doesn't translate completely, but is probably something along the lines of, "Bitch, please!"
Yeah. Amentis is going to go down and kneel in front of Scrappy and just kind of do the, because they've probably seen at some point, like people petting an animal to calm it down, just like start to pat it.
So you guys hear the unmistakable sound of metal
Dunk,
scratching on metal.
dunk. It's fine. It's fine.
Scrappy just gives you a look like, really?
Mintus has really bad nonverbal communication, so they don't mind. It's interesting. They wouldn't like this before.
Scrappy just goes and lays on the ground.
Dun,
Just,
dun.
You suddenly hear from behind you, Amentes, "Victory!"
Victory?
Yeah. And they come over and they just kind of stand on top of Scrappy, just kind of holding court almost.
Easy, Scrappy.
Oh, Amantis, do they know about the big thing?
You know about the big thing. The big thing.
Lots
Roar.
of big things. You're a
The-
big thing.
Yeah, that's why Amentis is looking confused at Purple. The big thing.
The big thing with a fire out of it.
Oh, the dragon. Do you know about that?
Metal Mountain? You made it move.
Yeah, it was not moving before.
No.
Interesting.
Why did you make it move? It's very loud.
We didn't make it move. It moved.
It didn't move until you came.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Indeed.
That's just gonna be her phrase now.
Are the waking
Daniel
lands
Jensen.
waking?
We are waking the waking land. Yes, apparently so. So Amentis is just going to sort of stand upright because she's no longer going to be awkwardly patting Scrappy. And apparently it started moving when we arrived. Before, it did not move. And they're also new. The fire and the ice, it is new.
I have
They
noticed.
call themselves spicy chili.
Fascinating.
I was very proud of that name.
It's a good name.
You know, honestly, in the last few weeks and months, I have noticed more activity, more finds. I wonder if something is changing here.
How long was
How
Amentis in the first one?
about why is there the ball? Have you seen those before?
So using Amintus is kind of your translator. They would describe the dread moths as smelly, stinky, and the slimes as sticky. And did not like either of them.
No, I would actually Cyrus.
Oh.
Oh.
It does look to him.
I would say, Silas, you've seen creatures before in the Waking Lands. They're generally more kind of mundane. There's always something a little bit strange about them because they've learned how to live in a land that's always bright. But as far as having any kind of elemental affinity, you've never seen that before. And both the creatures that you dealt with had somewhat elemental affinities. The Dreadmoths were obviously affiliated with poison. The slime you're not quite as sure about. But the fact that they had the ability to heal would indicate they might have some sort of affinity to light.
So, yeah, that's kind of unusual. I mean, I've run across some strange creatures, but not this strange.
Hmm.
There's a lot of new and interesting things happening.
Do these things live around here?
Before we get to that, I almost called you a Rel. I'm very sorry.
Okay.
Amintus.
Not hitting on enough things.
You were saying something right before Aikido. No idea? Cool. All right. It wasn't important then. Back to...
You said something about remembering.
Cool. It'll come back. It'll
Yep.
come back. So anyway, Murado.
Are these, do these things live here? Live near here?
What things?
Translator.
These things-
Shouldn't be a translator.
I am learning to sign. I think that might have been the wrong sign for that, but
What do
there
they
we
call
go. Learning to
themselves?
sign.
Spicy chilies.
Spicy chilies. Do spicy chilies live near here?
We are here.
Live.
How far away is your home?
Here.
So close
And
by.
there. And there. And they start kind of wandering around. And over here. And there. Wander around. And there. They climb up the wall. And there.
All right. If we're done playing with the fire squirrels, I think we should go check out the ruins over here before that dragon comes back.
They have ice too.
Yeah, I'm aware. I can see that.
They come back to you, Amentus. Kind of just give him a dirty look. Spicy chili.
Spicy chili.
Can we go? I'll look at the other three that are standing around.
Victory!
Yeah,
They go back
right.
over to Scrappy.
Tell them if they want to come with us, they can ride on Scrappy.
Their eyes get really wide.
Yes. To the
I just-
ruins.
I just bend down to Scrappy. I am so sorry.
I'm gonna start walking towards the directions of the ruins.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'll follow.
The two spicy chili just keep repeating over and over. Ultimate victory!
Dun, 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 dun.
So what kind of sick?
Sick! Wandering through the terrain actually goes a lot faster now that you have the two spicy chilies. mostly because like you guys will be walking and suddenly they will go no, and after Amentis kind of speaks with them, you'll find out things like, oh, don't go through that area, it's infested with slimes. Don't go through that area, there are drakes that consider that their personal hunting ground, and even if they would normally not hunt you, if you go into their hunting ground, they will.
Amentis is going.
Go ahead.
Amentis is going to ask them if there are more of the mechanical beasts, for lack of a better term, in the area, or anything that looks like it's of a similar material.
Yes,
We're building.
you made the move.
All of them.
Yes.
How many? Where?
You watch them, and they both kind of chitter to each other without really saying anything. And they turn back to you. Very yes.
Close by or further? Which way?
And they point over to the ruins, or in the direction of the ruins.
Interesting. Many.
Yes.
She's going to turn to everyone else. There are more are we calling them constructs?
That's the creature type. You can call them whatever you like. I'm
Okay.
personally fond of robots, but
Okay. There are more robots ahead. That doesn't quite roll off the same.
What is regular?
Similar.
Mama?
They're not very specific with their details. Are they as large as the dragon? She's going to turn back.
no.
Smaller, like your size or my size.
Some are my size, some are your size. Some look like you.
Some look like me.
Yes. That's where you woke them up, right?
And Amentis is just going to stop and get really and stand straight up and still. And not spicy chili voice. There are others like me. Here.
Let's go find him.
Yeah, that bait is waiting. Hopeful episodes.
Sorry.
Can we see how far the ruins are from here?
You think, because, again, you can't really see where they are because you're just in these kind of maze of ravines. But based on where you saw them before, you think you probably have another maybe 30 minutes to an hour before you get to them.
Can we walk and talk?
Sure, definitely.
Yeah. I thought that's what we were doing.
Yeah, you guys have been traveling this entire time. Overall,
Gotcha.
since you left since you came back down the hill, about 2 hours have passed. So another 30 minutes to an hour. Yeah. So as you guys continue going, suddenly, as you guys get within about 5 minutes of there, you watch both of the spicy chilies just jump off of Scrappy and skitter up one of the ravine walls. And just kind of stop at the top and look at you all.
I'll look at Amentis.
Do we go up?
No! Don't go
You'll
over
stay-
there.
Why?
They'll eat you.
Who?
And they just kind of give this really disapproving stare at Scrappy.
Oh. It's okay. We'll be back. And the Mentis is going to turn to the rest of the party. I'm going to call them robots, but I really don't want to call them robots.
You can call them whatever you want.
I know, but my brain is automatically going to go to robots now.
Automatons.
No, robots.
All right.
No, automatons. It's a
Okay.
fun word to say. It's bouncy. Constructs. There are more constructs ahead. Like Scrappy. The
Dangerous
spicy
ones?
chilies will stay. Well, they will eat the spicy chilies. I don't know if they will eat you. And Mentis is going to start walking forward.
Okay.
But you said you couldn't eat, but you saying apparently these ones can?
Mama, people, they fighting chilies.
Spicy chili. Oh wait, no, I don't say that out loud.
So
Death glares
but-
from the spicy chilies.
yeah, I was like, they don't want to come with us anymore, though.
They will
Beca-
be eaten.
Because the others, like, you will eat them.
They also thought that Fabula would eat them.
They think everything will eat them.
You weren't a threat.
Look at them.
You weren't a threat.
Wait,
I'll draw my sword and just keep walking
Okay.
forward.
yeah, me too.
So, as you guys keep going forward, the spicy chilies get further and further behind you. And as you continue walking, you see two creatures that look like this, guarding an entrance to a cave that is far too symmetrical to be natural.
Hmm.
Do they look metal? Can we make
Um,
that out from here?
There are bits of metallic pieces on them. But there's also bits of what looks kind of similar to cloth and some other materials that you're not quite sure of. They seem similar in composition to the dragon, just on a much smaller scale. They're about human size.
Recognition of this?
I'm sorry, say that one more time.
Do I have any recognition of this?
Not really. The face seems somewhat familiar simply because their face is kind of similar to your face in the idea that they have two glowing eyes and no mouth. And anatomically, they're very similar to how you are built, but there are some definite differences between your construction and their construction. But you could almost see that creature being maybe like an earlier version or a prototype of what eventually became you.
Are they patrolling or are they just standing there?
They're just standing there. They don't seem to have noticed you guys just yet.
Could we go and make introductions?
Amenta steps forward.
Okay.
Oh,
As
so
I guess so.
as you move forward, you suddenly feel this really sharp pain in your head as they turn towards you, and you think they're trying to speak to you, but all you hear is basically kind of really loud, pitchy static. Loud enough that it actually hurts, and it feels like it's coming from inside your head. And one of them kind of turns towards you, and you watch as it kind of lowers its arm, and a large axe blade appears on its arm.
Amentus is gonna withdraw a little bit, but take out their shield and like kind of cover and protect
Okay.
themselves.
Seeing you do that, they both kind of look at each other and they start moving forward. And I would like us to do a initiative to check. So, do you guys remember how initiative works?
Yes.
I'm just gonna move these. So, who wants to be the initiative leader? I think last time, who was it that you guys chose?
Aikido.
You know,
Okay.
You're the only one with not a -2, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
The reason why it's always be me.
Yes.
Alright.
So again, it's the same thing that happened last time. This is going to be a group check. So everybody else, go ahead and make initiative checks. It should be, I think, Dex, if I remember correctly.
Double 6s.
Very nice. We will deal with that in a second here. So we will start with, well, let's start on the other side then. Amintus, what would you like? Or, I mean,
What would I
what
like?
is, not what did you like, what did you roll?
Oh, 12.
12, cool. One success. Murata?
3.
3. Okay. Silas?
Well, actually, real quick, I may have to redo it. I think I might have that slow thing still on here, so it's bringing dexterity down.
Sure. I can look at it real quick.
I just undid it. So
Okay, so yeah, go ahead and roll
Okay.
your check again then.
that would a 4.
4. Hey, that's one higher. That's still a failure. Silas, what do you got?
maintain balance. I will replace his 3 with a 3.
Oh, good. And then Furball,
6.
6. Cool. I have to actually look because I did it wrong last time. Because the way that it works is actually monsters have a specific initiative, and yeah, if your group check beats that initiative, you guys get to go first. They don't make an initiative check. So, that being said, Aikido, you are you can go ahead and make your roll. You'll have a bonus of +1 to your initiative roll.
Alright.
Well, he does that. Can you explain bonding?
Bonding, as in like the bonds.
As an opportunity? You can create a bond towards someone or something.
Oh,
or an
okay.
emotion.
So, bonds are another thing that's unique to here. I need to have something to look at, so I need to pop this out real quick. There we go. Okay, so now it's not covering up the screen. So bonds are another thing that are unique to Fabula Ultima. Basically, bonds are you have a stronger relationship with someone, and if just like your identity, theme, or origin, if you make a roll and you can somehow invoke a bond of some sort, you can actually add the level of that bond to the roll, but by burning a Fabula point. And the level of the bond is how many different feelings you have for that particular character. So there are 6 different feelings that are opposites. You have admiration versus inferiority, loyalty versus mistrust, or affection versus hatred. So if for your bonus you wanted to create a bond with someone, for your opportunity, if you wanted to create a bond with someone, you would simply have to pick someone and then decide of those 6 emotions which one makes the most sense to how your character feels about them. And we would need to basically just come up with a reason as to why your character feels that way about them.
Okay. Can I make a bond to an enemy?
You can, absolutely.
Okay.
I will say you can have a maximum of 6 bonds at any given time. So if you bond with an enemy, if you bond with an enemy, that bond will disappear if you kill the enemy.
Right.
So it won't count against you. If you make a bond with a player with a player character, that will remain until you either cancel the bond because your character feels differently, or you run out of bonds and you have to get rid of one.
Okay. So, sorry, before we get to Keto's role, the thought is, since I got that double 6, and I can use that opportunity to create a bond, if I can create a bond, like a trusting bond with one of the creatures, or one of the automatons.
So might we call that a loyalty bond?
Sure. Yes.
And
I'll bring up
we
those types
just
of
need to figure out, why do you feel loyalty to them? Is it simply because they seem
Similar.
okay? Yeah, you can definitely do that. Again, if you do try to invoke that bond, you have to remember that it's a positive bond. So if you invoke it to try and make your attack against them more successful, I'm probably going to tell you no.
Right.
Because trusting them doesn't make a whole lot of sense to beat them up.
Right. So if I create that trusting bond with them, will that change our current communication?
Bonds are technically one way. This is how your character feels about them, not how their character feels about you.
Oh, okay.
You can, one of the more unique aspects about this, because normally you create bonds during resting scenes, and one of the more unique things is you can actually have 2 characters that both have a bond with each other, but their bonds are completely different. Like one might have an admiration bond, and the other one might have a hatred bond.
Gotcha.
And it's just how you feel about their character.
Gotcha. Okay, thank you.
Cool. So have you picked your opportunity, or can I go back to Aikido?
Well, let's go back to Akito.
Cool. Aikido, what'd you get for me?
9.
Cool.
Okay, then I'll
Their
use
initiative is
advantage.
5.
Oh.
They're very big, slow, dumb things.
Rude.
Just going off of stat blocks here. So you guys are going to be first. And we are missing one person. We're missing Aikido because he hasn't put his thing out yet. So just like before, to make things easier on me, go ahead and put your tokens out, and then when you're done with your turn, you just move them to the back to make it easier on me. So that being said, you guys are actually up first. So as Chax figured out last time, the big strategy in Fabula Ultima, as far as combat is concerned, you don't have to figure out, where your character's going to stand or anything like that. But the order that you guys take your turns in is incredibly important, especially since you guys outnumber these two. So once they run out of turns, you're going to have 3 turns in a row, because you'll have one turn, their turn, another your turn, their turn, and then you have 3 people that get to go. Then we go back to the top of the initiative again, and you'll get another person to go. So knowing when you want to take your turns is one of the more important things that you want to do in this. So that being said, who would like to go first? All right, Furball, what would you like to do?
Verbal, since it gets the talking there, and we want to check. So, Furball, Silas, and Aikido. Furball is going to step forward, and he is going to cast his spells. Let me just pull this up. Called Barrier.
Okay.
And I will actually put up what it says in here. and basically it's kind of like mage armor. So he's like, so Furbal's actually gonna like wave his hands, and Starlight's gonna come out, and it's gonna envelop each and every one of us, and it's gonna bump all our defenses up to 12.
Okay. So, as you guys watch Furball come forward and just start casting this barrier, you watch as it kind of clings to his form, and he seems to have this kind of secondary suit of translucent armor around him. Go ahead and move your character back. And then, and to make things easier, we have red and blue. So if you want to attack a specific one, you just say red golem, blue golem. So red is going to move towards Amentus. And this is going to be double D10s. Give me my dice. It's not that hard. Okay. And he's going to raise up. It's going to raise up its arm and just kind of swing down towards you. And it's going to get. What is that? 2. That's going to be 8, 9 against your defense.
Nope.
Okay. So it brings down this axe. And you just kind of instinctively raise your shield up, and as the axe kind of hits you, you feel your shields kind of get shoved down, and you actually kind of have to crouch a little bit to take the blows. Whatever this thing is, it is massively strong.
Okay. So, can I use my opportunity?
I forgot we had to choose what your opportunity was. What did you want to use for your opportunity for that roll?
So scan either a vulnerability or a trait, and I'm trying to quickly scan through and see the two. Need or an instinct or a specific quirk about their nature, or vulnerability or weakness. No, I'm gonna have her be more curious. So if she can learn a trait about them.
Okay. I will choose randomly here for the trait that you get. Predictable.
Okay.
All right. So that being said, it's taken its turn. Who wants to go next?
I'll step up, and I will summon in Kidu.
Okay. So you guys watch again as Murata starts to kind of focus. Now, my one question for you: are you keeping track of your magic points? Okay.
I have to do the quick summoning with quick summoning.
Okay.
I can't do the pulse.
Okay, so you're lowering the amount. Cool.
Lowering the cost in order to be able to quick summon.
So you guys watch it as he steps forward again. You see this kind of strange mythical being kind of appear before him, and it grabs onto his sword. You suddenly watch as his sword transforms into this legendary blade. Go ahead and move your character.
Actually, yeah, and with quick summoning, I can do up to 2. I can reduce the cost and pulse. I'm reading.
Yeah.
I just can't. I don't have the dismiss effect for this encounter.
Yep.
So, with that pulse, it is a magic armor attack.
Okay.
A magic defense.
All right. Are you targeting red or blue?
We'll do red.
Okay. So go ahead and make an attack. So you guys watch as this figure kind of appears, grabs onto Murato's sword, and then as he moves forward, you watch as the sword kind of shifts out of reality, and you watch as he swings it. It seems to kind of pass through their very thick armor to attempt to strike what's underneath. What did you get?
A 7.
7. And as you swing, mag defense is it willpower? Hold plus. I have to remember what magic defense is factored off of. I swear I know what I'm doing.
At least one of us does.
I don't.
Yep.
I really don't.
At least one of us pretends to.
Yes, it is based on insight. Okay. This is just checking. Yeah, because willpower does magic points. So as you swing in it, what was it that you got? What was the roll that you got again?
7 to hit.
7 to hit. Yeah, so as you swing, you watch yourself go through the armor, and you're waiting for that kind of feeling as you dig into something, and suddenly you see this kind of flash of light, and your sword is deflected away. And the other creature just starts looking at you very intently. So you can go ahead and move your character back, and then Blue is actually going to take a swing at you.
Protection.
Okay. So 7, 8.
No.
Miss. Well, I guess if you're doing protection.
Well, so protection, technically, you
Take it in
just
their
have to
face.
take the damage. You don't get to use your defense against it, but it does
Wow.
require them to get hit, and this wouldn't have hit him. So
Any checks that are part of the danger performed against you.
sorry, maybe I don't understand how that
You may
works.
declare the use of this skill before or after the checks have been made. Danger's already affected you, then it affects you twice. You cannot use multiple.
Sorry, just checking, because again, we are all very, very new at this, so protect. Let me take their place. Any checks that are part of the danger... Oh, so never mind. I was thinking it was just an auto hit on you. Never mind. Cool. So then, absolutely yes.
Amyntas goes and uses their momentum and double slide. Uses both
Yep.
shields to push away
So
the...
it kind of it comes forward and takes a swing at Murado, and again, Amentis much faster than you were expecting. Amentis just kind of appears in front of you and uses both shields to kind of block. And you watch as Amentis gets pushed down by this blow and just barely kind of rips it back off and gets up again. That is the end of its turn. Who wants to go into the next?
I'll move forward
Okay.
and stab red with my rapier.
All right. Go ahead and make me your accuracy check. So you guys watch as
7.
7. So you watch as Aikido moves forward and thrusts forward with his rapier, and it impacts, and the creature doesn't even block it. It impacts the creature right in the chest, and the creature just looks down and then looks back at you completely unfazed. Go ahead and move your character back. Who's next?
Amyntas is going to go and use Poison Cloud.
Okay. So as you sit there and focus, and you're keeping track of your magic too, right? Your magic points, cool. So as you focus, you guys watch as Amentis stretches their hands forward, and you watch as this cloud of poison goes out, and as it fades, the creatures seem completely unaffected by it. All right, you can move your character back. Silas, you are up.
Question.
Answer.
Would these appear to be soldier rank constructs?
Oh, shit. They do look like soldier rank constructs, and I forgot you had that ability.
So Silas would like to pull out a little box and start fiddling with some of the controls on it and attempt to take control of Blue.
Gotcha. I have to look and see how that ability works.
Nice.
So that's Magitech, right?
That is Magitech Override,
Okay, so he's
page
a,
Silas.
215.
Silas would like to hack the Gibson.
you perform an opposed insight check. Okay.
Sending the cookie attack.
Yeah, definitely. These are very, very smart constructs. They totally have super high... This is going to go poorly. So make an insight check, and I will do the same.
Amyntas, seeing this, hides behind Fabula.
do not believe that's a bad idea. Forgot I don't have my extra D8. There it is. Oh, it's my dragon dice. I haven't used these in forever. First set of dice I ever purchased right here.
Ooh.
All right. So I got a really, really high score of 5.
Ooh. I rolled a 9.
Sorry, my brain went to Futurama. You put like a little magnet on their head. They start going, coming around the mountain when they come. You son of a bitch! You'll be coming around the mountain when they come.
So, yeah. So you guys watch as Silas kind of moves for. Actually, I kind of like it better this way. So as you guys are all fighting, Silas is just kind of watching what's going on here. You see him go, yeah, and you watch as he just moves away for a little bit while you guys are all fighting. And the next thing you guys know, he has this weird kind of like RC car remote that has come out of nowhere, and he's like fiddling with things. And you watch as the blue identifying golem is kind of looking at him and seeing the device, starts rushing towards him, and he brings the axe up and just stops. And brings the axe back down and turns around. And he is now a member of your party.
He's on our side now.
Purple.
And here I was thinking it was going to be Chax that was going to be getting the pets. So
Not the
last
robots.
time I give you guys constructs. Cool.
Really?
No. So what we're going to do is everyone move your tokens back to the front because it's the beginning of initiative. Who wants to go first, including your new friend? Am I supposed to give you the stats for this thing? I can't remember.
It does say that the game master will give you its profile.
Yeah, if you want to go to page 329, if you have the core book open, it is the Magitech Trooper. I do not have the ability to give it to you because I would have to cut up the PDF to do it, and that will take me time that I don't have.
Nope, I'm good.
Cool. Bastard. So who's going first now? That you
I'll
just trivialized something that was supposed to be kind of difficult?
I'll swing again at the red one that's in front of me.
Go for it. Are you going to use the pulse or regular?
Just regular.
Okay. So you guys watch as Murado comes forward with anger in his eyes as he's about to try and smite the secondary Magitech Trooper.
12 to hit.
12 to hit does hit. What's the damage?
That would be, I'm broken here, 13.
I don't have something open to track because I was dumb. Hold, please. I do not have anywhere
14. I bet.
near enough
Math.
windows open. I only have 6 windows open, guys. Not enough.
No, it's not enough. I'm impressed that it's that small.
Now I have 7, so I'm gonna go
Much better.
Robit 1, Robit 2.
So even after the encounter, Silas will have control over this?
Until the end of the scene.
Okay. Cool.
As long as nobody causes it damage.
Okay. Might
Well,
be
we
good
don't know that,
information to share.
So say one more time. What was the damage?
14.
14. Thank you. So you run forward and you slash at the creature, and this time you actually can feel it dig into the armored plating a little bit. The plating itself, compared to everything else, the plating itself has a layer of dust on it, but it seems before you hit it, it was in relatively good repair, and now there's a big gash in it. So go ahead and move your token back because there's only one person left on the field. He's going to just take a swing at you because he doesn't like you. And you're
Attack.
uninvited to his birthday party. And then he's going to have to get through your shields then. You know, I was rolling high before. How's a 12 treat you?
Nope.
She's protecting again. So again, as you as it kind of comes around with this massive axe, you watch again much faster than you think should be possible. Amintus is there and blocks it, and you watch Amintus kind of skid back about 5 feet as the attack hits them and just carries them. That was the end of its turn, and there's nothing else that is on this side. So who wants to go next?
I think Silas will have the blue one go in for an axe strike,
Sure.
and he'll call out to everybody, "Don't hit the blue one, not yet."
Now I roll a 17, 18. So that works perfectly. With a high roll of 10, that means it does 24 physical damage, and the creature is slowed.
Yes.
We got rubber and blue.
And it is also in crisis. So you guys watch as you watch as the blue golem comes up and slashes into it, and as it cuts deep into its chest plate, you start seeing the kind of core of this creature come out, and you can see these huge sparks kind of flying, and you can watch the axe on its arm just start sparking with electricity going all through it. Does it do anything else actually useful? Oh yeah, it just loses resistances, because that's cool. So that's its turn. It has nothing else. There's nothing else this side can do, so who wants to go next?
I will stab at Fabula's core.
Go for it.
That would be 15%.
Definitely hits. What's the damage?
15.
15? 15 and 15. 15's nice. So as you step forward and kind of thrust, now that you have a target to aim at, as it hits the core, you feel this jolt of electricity go into to your arm, and it almost makes you drop your rapier for a second, but you're able to kind of pull it out, and you can feel that kind of like tingly sensation in your hand. If you've ever stuck a fork in a light socket, you know exactly what it feels like. Not that I have ever done that, or, you know, plugged a light in and took the light bulb out and touched the part in the middle. I never would have done that as a child. Who wants to go next? Move your character back.
I don't know how it works with their shields, but I kind of want Amentis to bash them.
Go for it. You just punch them with their shields.
Okay.
Like that is your weapon.
Well, I know. I just mean I don't know how the damage worked.
Oh.
It says HR plus 5.
Yeah, so high roll plus 5.
Oh, haha. Well, I got an 11. My high roll was 10, so 15.
Cool. So you step forward to this creature, and you can see this. As you get closer, you are starting to kind of identify and understand with it a little bit. You can just see this burning fury and hatred in its eyes as you come forward and just kind of punch directly into it. You can see more of its core is exposed. It's now sparking like mad, and you just can kind of feel the anger and hatred getting hotter and hotter. Very similar to that kind of feeling you felt before in your chest.
Oh. She's gonna retreat.
Okay. Then between Silas and Furble, who wants to go next?
Silas will go ahead and pull out the magic cannon
Okay.
and make an attack.
Go for it.
Again, I got doubles, two twos, plus one, so 5.
Cool. Is there anything? Do you want to find a way to burn a Fabula point to re-roll anything, or are you good with that?
I'm good. I'll
So as he's sitting there holding his little RC controller, he realizes he should probably do something. So one-handed, he takes his magi cannon out and he kind of spins it to cock it and fires it. Just misses completely, obliterates a wall like 10 feet away, and just goes back to his RC. Furball, what you want to do?
Jump.
Purple's, I guess
I can
Purple's
make it
picking.
dance, guys. Look, I call this twerking.
I've invented twerking.
Since Furball's looking at this thing,
Mhm.
seems rather aggressive, but he's also comparing like to a Mentis who is rather chill up until they don't have to be. I think he'd like to spend his action studying this thing, trying to understand their deal.
Absolutely. Go ahead and make an
Because-
insight check.
Because we just rocked up on these things, and they were kind of like it looked like they tried to communicate, and then we're like, they put out swords, and he pulled out a shield, and all of a sudden they just kicked off.
Mhm.
Insight. Come here. I'll sit that letter. Oh, good lord.
Mm.
So even if you did that, okay. So I'm gonna dip into this. What I'm gonna do is Furball's insightful,
Mm-hmm.
and I think he's let's see if I can actually. Well, I should actually look at my title here. Oh, I guess let's see from that. Never mind. I'm gonna take the L because I don't think I can justify that with my identity.
Okay. So as you're looking at it, there's so many sparks flying everywhere, and there's kind of so much action going on that, aside from the fact that, again, it shares some physical characteristics with Amentes, you've got nothing. You have no idea what this thing is or what it can do. That goes to the end of the turn. Everyone move your tokens back. Who wants to go first this turn? If you guys want to miss, this guy will get one last attack before he dies.
I'll send the robot in again.
Cool. Of course you will. The robot, well, I rolled a 2 on one of them. So 7.
Now, are you going fancy, or are you just going like from bottom to right and then pinning the B?
Up, down, down, left, right, left, right.
So it goes forward and takes a swing, and this time you watch as the red golem like jumps back and misses it entirely, and it's going to go directly for Amentes, since it seems that that's the only one that it can attack. It's going to take a swing at you, Amentes. That's slightly higher, isn't it? Yeah, that brings us up to 16 versus your armor. So, as it comes down, it strikes you squarely, doing... Where did you go? Servia. Doing 23 points of bolt damage. And you are slowed. So it comes up, and as you bring your shields up, you're not quite quick enough, and it goes straight in between them and digs directly into your chest piece. You feel the bolts of electricity just kind of go all over your body, and you can feel the various gears and artificial muscle fibers throughout your body just kind of getting gummed up in this thing, and it rips the axe out, and it looks just about ready to kill you. Unfortunately, though, it's the end of its turn. So who wants to go next?
Amentes is going to use Mellow Dance.
Okay.
Amentes got the hurts.
So Amentes just kind of sits there going, that wasn't very nice, and kind of rubs the spots until you watch as some of the armor starts to kind of slowly get pieced back together. Who wants to go next?
Well, Furble's just going to go next. He was going to do what he's going to heal. He's going to heal a Mentis.
Okay.
So
Not
then,
necessary.
all right, sure. Okay, well,
Yeah, I'm back up. So
Yeah. That
I don't know.
magic
You got
spell
rocked.
is really,
really powerful.
yeah. It does 30 hit points
Yeah.
and removes a single condition.
Satisfact-
It's a Chimerists are fun if your GM is kind enough to give you very nice things to copy. You're welcome. So,
Is anyone else hurting? So I guess that'll be the next question.
I am from last fight still.
Oh shoot, you are hurting. Okay. If that's still the same.
Yeah, I'm a stupid have a healed it all.
All right.
Okay. Then I still have the hit points. So Furball will cast heal on Aikido, and you'll get 40 points, or if you're topped off, I don't know. But it's 40 points normally.
so you watch as
Yeah.
Furball starts kind of spinning his staff a little bit, and you watch as the light magic starts to form, and he just kind of points at you, and you can feel kind of the bruised ribs and the cuts and things just slowly start to knit themselves back together. Who wants to go next? Seeing as you have taken away half of the bad guys.
I'll go.
Okay.
I will swipe. I'll pulse for the magic defense. Or aiming at magic defense instead. And let's see here. 11 to hit.
11 definitely hits. What's the damage?
Plus one thing I didn't add last time was the +5 from Enkidu.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't add that last time, but we're past that, and but I'll add it on this one since I've remembered. That is going to be 18 damage.
Yeah. Claim your victory. Describe your kill.
Then I suppose after watching Amentus get rocked on that last hit, backing out, trying to heal, I just want to go for a straight head cleave straight off.
So you guys watch as Murata you see him kind of brooding a little bit. You watch as he takes this massive legendary sword and just starts walking forward. His shield is down at his side. He actually goes and grips the blade with both hands, kind of letting the shield just hang useless. He comes over, and as the Magitech trooper lifts up his axe to defend, the first thing Murata does is he just bashes it out of the way. You watch as it gets embedded in the ground. The creature looks up with this defiant anger in its eyes, and he just brings his sword down, cleaving the Magitech creature in twain, with its head going one direction and this body crumpling in another direction. As the energy slowly leaks out of the body of the Magitech trooper, just kind of melting there. The other one seems completely oblivious to anything going on, now that it's fully under control of Silas. You guys can smell the scent of burnt ozone.
Amentus is gonna go and walk around, circle around the other automaton,
Okay.
and try to communicate with it again.
The more you try to speak to it, you notice that right now it seems completely incapable of any independent of the thought. And you get the idea that as long as Silas has it under his control, you're not. It is a puppet, effectively.
Mm.
Sorry, it's I forgot I could, in the heat of battle, I forgot I could simple constructs. I can control like that.
Can you do this to me?
I don't think so.
Good.
I think you're more One, I would never want to, but two, I think you're more sophisticated.
Silas is making the pro just go squat down, thinking that's fun.
No, no, no. I have it doing the floss.
Gosh.
The robot.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look at the entrance. You said it was a little too symmetrical earlier. Are there any lights or are there anything like standing out? Anything moving gear wise or mechanical?
Or the hole made in the wall. Is there anything that we see?
Sorry. What specifically were you looking for?
I was just looking at the door if there was anything mechanical moving or lights or anything.
You don't
Magitech.
see anything in the door that would indicate any sort of moving parts. But it looks like the doorway is missing a door. So you guys can see the remnants of what looks like hinges. So at one point this used to be sealed. But looking around, you see nothing that even resembles a partial door lying around. So whatever happened to the door on this building, it is long gone.
I'm gonna turn and ask Silas. How long can you control this thing?
A while. Technically, it is until the end of the scene. I don't know how long.
So
Till the
technically,
batteries run out.
once combat is over, that is a conflict scene. And so at the end of combat, the scene is over.
So it's gonna okay. So technically, has it?
Can you make this thing
Still
chill?
Yeah.
So you would be aware that you generally can't keep control of a creature like this for more than maybe 5 or 10 minutes.
Yeah,
Well, to give an in-game time to it.
Not much longer. The ciphers tend to reset and then lock
Technobabble,
out.
techno.
Yeah.
Babble, technobabble.
Yeah, the
Spec,
polarity
spec,
reverses,
spec, spec,
and
spec,
unfortunately, that I can't re-reverse the polarity. It's a whole thing.
Can you
So
turn
whatever
it
the-
off?
Something to do with the neutrinos.
I can shut it down, but when my lockout expires, then it will just turn itself back on. I could maybe tell it to walk in a direction for 5 minutes, but then it's probably going to be hostile. I
Should we go inside? Leave it here. Go
Can we
inside.
take
Let
it
it
apart?
defend.
If while this still is so you're still controlling it, can one of us like do a shot somewhere to the back of it so like only a part of it's functioning?
as soon as we do any kind of a damage, that's going to reset the control. So if we're going to go that route, I think we should all just line up and just all at once.
Is there water nearby?
There's a river to the south, but it's far enough that it would take you guys a few hours to get to it.
How far is the dragon? Can we
Much
send it
further.
to the dragon.
Dragon, bring an offering.
Yep.
Okay, send it a direction, and then we'll get inside. And if it returns and it's waiting outside, we'll bolt out on our way out.
Okay,
Will it
So-
come back looking for us?
Sound like a plan?
probably.
If it comes inside, if it's programmed to guard whatever this is, it's probably going to want to continue to guard this. And if it doesn't know who we are right now, due to it being under control, it may not remember that it won't know we went inside. I'm assuming it will continue to guard. It may come in and attack.
Seeing the automaton that split, does any of the circuitry look familiar? Does it still sort of look like a rudimentary version of what a Mentis would have?
I would say you probably
core?
are not as familiar with your internal circuitry in the same way that I don't know what color my spleen is.
You don't? That's weird.
Yeah.
My spleen. I don't like the color of
Kidneys.
it.
I don't like the color.
That's it.
So yeah, you technically don't know what your internal workings really look like because anytime they were being worked on, you would have been offline.
Right.
But looking at it again, like everything makes sense as you look at it. You don't have to sit there and try and figure out. I wonder what this does. Everything makes perfect sense to you how it works.
Okay.
But you cannot ever remember learning any of this. It just makes sense to you.
Was I was anything in my study
This is
about
constructs. For the most part, the constructs that you're aware of are kind of the clockwork steampunk constructs that Imperius uses as kind of their kind of shock troops. And none of them are advanced enough to be able to do what this one is. Like, those are... Most of their technology requires someone actively controlling it as opposed to just kind of wireless action. And they're definitely not autonomous like these things are.
Would I, after sending blue after a ball that I threw and then pocketed again, if I look at red, do I get the sense that he is more technologically based, magically based, arcane, or a fusion of the two?
A better fusion than you have ever seen. Like, a lot of the Wind Crystal Nation's technology is kind of a combination of magic and technology. This is on a level you've never seen before. Like, the fact that, like, a lot of the Magitech you're used to is, you know, you can use magic to make the various parts move, but this is, it has a magic battery in it. Batteries aren't a thing that you're aware of. It has the ability to create its own choices and things like that. Like, this is such an advanced version of Magitech that it would take you decades to figure out how everything works.
This is really cool. But yeah, Silas is just gonna like see if he can grab a piece of it and put it in a pocket or a bag.
Sure, I mean, it's in pieces. Now, if you wanted to take the head, because again, the head has been cleaved off and is mostly intact, other than having a few dents from going bloop, 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 bloop.
Yep, the head's going in a bag.
Okay. What do the rest of you guys want to do?
I'm gonna start walking towards the doorway.
Okay.
yeah, big dude.
Right. So, as I'm assuming the whole party kind of follows. Okay. As you all walk into the building itself, the ambient air temperature drops very quickly. It feels remarkably cold inside. As you breathe in, the air kind of stings your lungs. Like if you've ever walked out on a day with a brand new coat of snow on the ground and that instant kind of burn in your lungs. You also smell this kind of stale, dusty smell, and the whole area feels very dry. You have to blink a few times because your eyes feel like they're drying out. As you walk in, you suddenly see these cold blue lights start illuminating with every step. And you can see a hallway that splits in a T intersection. Unfortunately, that is where we are going to end it for tonight. As always, if you missed any of this, I do upload all these to my YouTube channels, youtube.com/TrainerJody. Otherwise, the VODs of all the videos are here normally for about 60 days. So you can watch them here on Twitch. as well. If you're watching this on YouTube, please come join us Wednesday nights, 9 p.m. Central Time. You can, join the audience. You can interact with the game using your channel points. It's lots of fun. But anyway, again, that is all for me today, and I will see you guys next time. All right? Bye-bye.